The morning sun peeked through the blinds, casting slender beams across the disheveled room. Matt lay sprawled on the floor, surrounded by the remnants of his latest binge. Needles, empty pill bottles, and crumpled foil littered the carpet like a macabre mosaic. His eyes, bloodshot and vacant, reflected a soul ravaged by addiction. Once, Matt had dreams of a promising career, a loving family, a life worth living. But somewhere along the way, he took a wrong turn, and the allure of drugs gripped him tight, pulling him into the depths of despair. Each day blurred into the next, a ceaseless cycle of highs and lows, punctuated by moments of fleeting euphoria and agonizing withdrawal. The drugs became his only solace, his constant companion in a world that seemed to have abandoned him. But this morning was different. As Matt lay there, staring blankly at the ceiling, a flicker of recognition danced behind his eyes, a spark of defiance amidst the darkness. He knew he couldn't go on like this. He needed to break free, to reclaim his life from the clutches of addiction. With trembling hands and a resolve born of desperation, Matt reached for his phone. His fingers fumbled with the buttons as he dialed a number he hadn't called in years, his old friend, Sarah. Sarah had always been there for him, even when he pushed her away in his darkest moments. She was the one who never gave up on him, who saw beyond his addiction to the person he once was, and could be again. "Hello?" Her voice, soft and concerned, filled the room like a ray of sunshine piercing through storm clouds. "Sarah, it's me," Matt croaked, his voice hoarse from disuse. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line, as if Sarah was processing the reality of hearing from him after so long. Then, with a mixture of relief and apprehension, she replied, "Matt, where are you? Are you okay?" Matt hesitated, his pride warring with the overwhelming need for help. "I need to get clean. I'm not okay, Sarah, I need help." With Sarah's unwavering support, Matt took the first tentative steps on his journey to recovery. It wasn't easy, far from it. The withdrawal symptoms racked his body with a ferocity that threatened to consume him. But each day that passed brought him closer to freedom, to a life untethered by the chains of addiction. Together, Matt and Sarah navigated the labyrinth of treatment options, seeking out therapists, support groups, and rehabilitation programs tailored to his needs. It was a long and arduous road, paved with setbacks and struggles, but they refused to give up hope. Slowly but surely, Matt began to rebuild his life from the ground up. He reconnected with family and friends he had pushed away, rediscovering the bonds that had been strained but never broken. He found solace in art, channeling his pain and anguish into poetry and painting. And most importantly, he learned to forgive himself, to accept that his past did not define him, and that he was worthy of love and redemption. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Matt emerged from the shadows of his former self, reborn with a newfound sense of purpose and vitality. The world, once a bleak and desolate landscape, now brimmed with possibility and promise. With Sarah by his side, Matt ventured out into the world with a newfound sense of optimism, eager to embrace the second chance he had been given. He enrolled in classes, pursuing his passion for photography with a fervor that bordered on obsession. He volunteered at local shelters, offering a helping hand to those still trapped in the throes of addiction. And he shared his story, openly and honestly, with anyone who would listen, hoping to inspire others to take the first step towards recovery. But amidst the hustle and bustle of his new life, Matt never forgot the darkness from which he had emerged. He knew that addiction was a relentless adversary, lurking in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike. And so, he remained vigilant, drawing strength from the lessons he had learned and the support of those who stood by him through it all. For Matt, the journey was far from over. It was a lifelong commitment to self-discovery and self-improvement. But as he gazed out at the world with eyes clear and unclouded by the specter of addiction, he knew that he was finally free. After a while, it started innocently enough, a casual drink at a friend's party, a prescription painkiller for a minor injury. But soon, old habits crept back into his life like insidious shadows, threatening to engulf him once more. At first, Matt brushed off his slip-ups as mere lapses in judgment, convinced that he was in control of his demons. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, he found himself slipping further and further down the rabbit hole, unable to escape the clutches of addiction once again. With each passing day, Matt's descent into darkness accelerated, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. He lost touch with his friends and family, pushing them away in a futile attempt to shield them from the wreckage of his life. His job, once a source of pride and stability, crumbled beneath the weight of his addiction, leaving him adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Haunted by guilt and shame, Matt sought solace in the very substances that had brought him to his knees, numbing the pain with each hit, each pill, each drink. But no amount of drugs could silence the voice of self-doubt that echoed in the recesses of his mind, taunting him with reminders of his failures and shortcomings. As the walls closed in around him, Matt found himself teetering on the brink of despair, trapped in a cycle of addiction from which he feared he would never escape. But just when all hope seemed lost, a familiar voice broke through the deafening silence, offering a lifeline in the darkness. It was Sarah, his steadfast companion through thick and thin, refusing to abandon him to his fate. With unwavering determination, Sarah reached out to Matt, pulling him back from the edge with a strength born of love and compassion. She reminded him of the person he once was, the person he could be again, if only he dared to believe in himself. Slowly but surely, Matt began to claw his way back from the brink, guided by Sarah's unwavering support and the knowledge that redemption was still within his reach. He sought out help once more, embracing therapy and rehabilitation with a newfound sense of humility and gratitude. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Matt emerged from the depths of his despair, reborn once more with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. He knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, fraught with pitfalls and obstacles, but he refused to let fear hold him back. Armed with the lessons of his past and the support of those who believed in him, Matt embarked on a journey of self-discovery and healing, determined to rewrite the narrative of his life and reclaim his place in the world. And though the shadows of addiction may linger on the periphery, Matt faced the future with a newfound sense of resilience and hope, knowing that with courage and perseverance, he could overcome any obstacle that stood in his way. With each step forward, he moved closer towards the light, towards a future filled with promise and possibility. And as he gazed out at the world with eyes clear and unclouded by the specter of addiction, Matt's relapse wasn't just a stumble, it was a plunge into the abyss he thought he'd left behind. The shame of his regression weighed heavy on his shoulders, a burden he couldn't shake. Every day became a battle against the cravings, against the whispers of his past that threatened to pull him under once more. Sarah stood by him, unwavering in her support, but even her steadfast presence couldn't shield him from the demons within. He saw the disappointment in her eyes, the hurt of betrayal, and it cut him to the core. How could he have let himself fall back into the same trap, after everything they'd been through? Determined to confront his demons head-on, Matt sought out therapy, delving deep into the root causes of his addiction. He unearthed painful memories buried beneath layers of denial and self-deception, confronting the traumas that had driven him to seek solace in substances. It was a harrowing journey, fraught with tears and revelations, but with each session, Matt felt a glimmer of hope, a flicker of light amidst the darkness. He began to understand that addiction wasn't just about the drugs, it was about the underlying pain and emptiness that he'd been trying to numb for so long. As Matt grappled with his inner demons, he also faced the daunting task of rebuilding the trust he had shattered with his loved ones. Every apology felt hollow, every promise of change tinged with doubt. But Matt refused to give up, determined to prove that he was worthy of redemption. He reached out to his family, swallowing his pride and baring his soul in the hopes of mending the fractures that had torn them apart. His friends, too, offered him a lifeline, extending their hands in forgiveness and understanding. They stood by him through the darkest days, reminding him that he was not alone, that he was loved, flaws and all. And Sarah, ever the beacon of light in his life, remained steadfast in her devotion, offering him a second chance when he needed it most. She saw beyond his mistakes, beyond the scars of his past, and believed in the person he was striving to become. He embraced new passions and interests, rediscovering the joy of creativity and expression. Photography became his refuge, a lens through which he could capture the beauty of the world around him and the resilience of the human spirit. Each snapshot told a story, a testament to his journey from darkness to light, from despair to hope. He immersed himself in nature, finding solace in the simplicity of the natural world. Hikes through the mountains, swims in the ocean, moments of quiet contemplation beneath the stars, all served as reminders of the infinite possibilities that lay beyond the confines of his addiction. And though the specter of addiction still loomed on the horizon, Matt faced the future with courage and resilience, knowing that he was not defined by his past, but rather, by the choices he made in the present. For Matt, recovery was not a destination, but a journey of self-discovery and healing, of forgiveness and redemption. And as he gazed out at the world with eyes clear and unclouded by the specter of addiction, he knew that he was finally free.